Welcome to the World of Horror podcast with Mom and Mac. I'm Mom.
And I'm Mac.
This is the podcast where we share our love of international horror. Everyone has their fears, but we are not afraid of subtitles. Disclaimers for adult language and spoilers. Hi, Mac. How's it going?
Hi, Mom. It's going pretty good. I've actually been so excited because there was a story I wanted to tell you that just happened last night. I afterwards, I literally thought, this is perfect for the pod. So I didn't speak a word of it until you hit record.
Oh my God. Well, tell me what happened.
Okay. So last night, Alan and I go to the Cheesecake Factory, and you know, some restaurants where they have that giant, it's kind of the worst place to get sat because you're next to 1 million other people. Like there's a booth and then seats on the other end and you're all mushed together. Well, that happened. And so we were in between two tables, but the people to the left of us left. So I thought, okay, we're cool. And then a couple gets sat right next to us, and they were, I don't think this is an exaggeration, like maybe the most annoying couple to ever be sat next to. So much so that other patrons knew. It wasn't just me being a sourpuss. And by the end, you will agree with me. I promise I'm not bullying these people. I just want to, because I was trying to think of how to tell the story. And I was thinking, I'm just going to come off sounding like I hate strangers having fun. That's not the case. Okay. You will agree with me. So I'm going to guess this was like third date or something. And also I never got a glimpse of either of them because I did not want to make eye contact. So man and woman get sat next to us. And the woman is just immediately like, well, you know, you didn't have to take me to the Cheesecake Factory. It's so expensive here. And I swear you don't have to pay for me. The guy's like, no, like, it's okay. I'm happy to pay for you. She goes, oh, okay. I mean, if you're sure, because it's really expensive here. And then as soon as she starts opening the menu, she's just like, whoa, it's actually not that as expensive as I thought. Okay, that's crazy. Just like being so loud. But you know, it's a loud restaurant. I was like, you know, worse things have happened. But I swear every 10 minutes, she's like, okay, babe, come over here. I'm going to take a selfie. And this man would get up out of the booth to go behind her while she took her selfie like this. And it's like, I'm not trying to rain on people's parades. I was just like, if this was a date I was on, I'd be like, oh, absolutely not. Cause like he's in the aisle now with all these people running around, bending down. And it was like so often. And then she keeps mentioning the prices. She starts talking to the people next to them, being like, that looks really good. What did you get? And the lady's so like, well, I got this. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. And how are you today? Oh, well, it's my birthday. Oh my God, happy birthday, beautiful. And like keeps talking to them to the point where when they leave, she's like, beautiful, happy birthday. Like, you know, have a good one. And the man that woman's with goes, okay, yeah, thanks. Thank you. Like, a total like, please stop talking to us. And like, you know, anytime the waitress, who was so nice, by the way, one of the nicest, best waitresses I've ever had, she's got 1 million tables. It's Cheesecake Factory on a Sunday night. There's 1 million people there. Anytime she's talking to another soul, she's like, miss, like, and like, and then so Alan and I just gave up talking to each other and just both made eye contact, and we were like, we are just going to listen to everything these people say and debrief later. Like, it was too good. Like, it got to the point where I was actually happy that it was happening because it was so crazy. And I hear the table next to us, it's another two on a date, like a really young couple this time. And the girl goes, you have to switch seats with me at one point. This woman's horrible. Like, so it's not just us, okay? Like, these people were causing a ruckus. So they're talking about cheesecake and tiramisu because the guy's like, I've never had tiramisu. She's like, oh, tiramisu's great. He gets the tiramisu cheesecake. When it gets brought to them, before he can even take a bite, she's like, can I try that? And then she tries it and goes, well, you're going to love that. And that actually was the thing that has stuck with me the most, of like, you took the first bite from his cheesecake that you told him to get? And then you're like, you're going to love that. He'll find out when he eats it. Like, I just couldn't believe, like, to take the first bite to me is so crazy. Like and then Alan said that he wolfed it down, and we were like, maybe because she was going to be like, more, please.
Yeah.
And that's not me shaming her. I'm just like, I just still like, they could not have been dating for that long. And then at one point he's saying like, well, next time I'm going to get you that ring. And we're like, are they going to get engaged? He's like, well, the first thing I have to do is pay off my truck. Well, then I have to pay off this. He just starts going through everything he has to pay off. He's like, but I'm going to get you that ring. And so then by the end, when we get our check, he asks the lady, well, she, as the lady's talking to us, yells at her again to come over there. And at first we were just going to be like, well, these are just two kooks. Who cares? But then I hear the man say, just sucks because I'm not going to give her a tip. And he was like, yeah, $70 meal, but I'm not going to give her a tip. And I like hear that as I'm writing my tip. And I was like, and he goes, I just don't have the money for it. It's a bummer, but I'm not going to give her a tip. And the woman on the date goes like, well, I've got some money in my Cash App. Maybe we can ask if she has Cash App. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, what are we like, you don't have money to tip, you don't go. And so I tipped more because I was like, this is $70 meal and you're not going to tip this woman who is like, and this woman was so nice to them. Anytime they were yelling at her, she came right over and was like, wow, can I help you? Oh, another insane thing was when she asked what they wanted to eat, the guy goes, what's good here? You're at the Cheesecake Factory. Like, there's 1,000 things on the menu, and the waitress goes, well, that's a really tough question. Like, what are you in the mood for?
Yeah.
And you're not going to tip her? So
Wow.
I gave her $25 because I was like,
Yeah.
for both of us now, for me and this table, you're going to get tipped. So after that, I was like, actually, fuck these people.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. And as soon as Alan and I got out of the restaurant, we just started like laughing. It was probably the best thing that actually could have happened to us, not to the waitress. But again, I'm glad that these people sat down, but I also do hope that they like step on a Lego or something to not tip. You know, that's just egregious.
Yeah. That's really, really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. I don't have any stories to compare. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. This was like a once in a lifetime thing.
Yeah. Wow. I know. It's like our mutual friend Quinn. She's a character herself, and she attracts characters into her life. So that seems like something that would happen to her like any day of the week, you know? But,
Yeah.
Yeah. But
And that's why I didn't want to make eye contact because I really wanted to get a glimpse. But I thought as soon as I lock eyes with this woman, she's going to ask me something.
Yeah.
Like we're going to start talking. So I thought if I just exuded the most do not talk to me energy, it wouldn't happen. And it didn't. And so I'm really glad about that. Like it wasn't the sort of thing I wanted to get in on because she was very annoying. And I actually find it very hard to talk to people if I'm annoyed with them. Like, because I don't want to ever be rude, but it's so hard for me to not just exude the most like, okay, I'm done. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Sounds like my worst nightmare. I wouldn't know what to do.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. The only thing to compare to that is just like these batshit insane emails that I get from students, which are like, the instructions say this. Is this what we're supposed to do? And I'm like, yeah.
No. Oh, yes.
That's why I wrote
That's what it
that
says.
way.
I didn't do this, but could you
Okay,
still
I wasn't sure.
grade like I did?
Yeah, and this one kid today, he was just like, that first assignment, I didn't do it because I didn't understand it. And I'm like, okay. And he goes, so could you explain it to me? I'm like, not really. I mean, that was in week 1. We're in week 3 now, and you didn't do the assignment, and there's no way to make it up. So
Yeah.
also, I teach in this classroom Monday, Wednesday, and Friday where there's somebody there before me and then somebody right after me. So I basically don't have any time to, mix it up with the students.
Yeah.
And the woman who teaches before me always goes over, which is just super annoying because we only have 10 minutes anyway. So I had 6 minutes today to get ready. And she had shut off the projector and she's like, oh, I would have left that on. And I'm like, So I think I'm going to send her an email and just be like, can you just turn it on or leave it on? Because that'll save me some time. Because I only have the kids for 50 minutes. So there's just like not a whole lot of time to get in there. So you don't want to waste a minute.
Yeah. Going over is so also like, I know you can't help it sometimes, but it seems like a common courtesy thing.
Oh, yeah. Every time. I mean, it's just like, I don't know. So that's pretty annoying. Well, I mean, it's not the end of the world or anything when students don't read the instructions.
But you know what is.
So today, WoHos, we are doing movies about the end of the world. And I was afraid watching the first movie because I'm like, wait, did I get it wrong? But no, I think I got it perfectly fine. Pontypool. The short plot summary from IMDb says, a radio host interprets the possible outbreak of a deadly virus which infects the small Ontario town he is stationed in. This was directed by Bruce McDonald, screenplay by Tony Burgess, based on Pontypool Changes Everything by Tony Burgess, starring Stephen McHattie, Lisa Houle, Georgina Riley, and Hrant Elianak. Cinematography by Miroslav Bosak, edited by Jeremiah Muntz, music by Claude Foisey. The release dates were September 6th. Oh, it's almost the anniversary. 2008 at the Toronto International Film Festival. It has a running time of 96 minutes. How did you feel about this runtime, Mac?
I felt like by the end, I was checking my watch a little bit. Perhaps this could have been, dare I say, an 85-minute movie.
Oh, wow. Chopping off a whole 11 minutes?
I think maybe it could be. I saw this movie, I feel like right when it came out, actually, because I remember it was such a like specific memory in my head. I was at my friend Layla's house, sleepover, and that was around the beginnings of Netflix streaming, and I could not sleep. I was on an air mattress, and I thought, and the poster for Pontypool was very cool on Netflix, so I said, okay, and then I watched it, and there's up to a point where it was like, even though I had only seen it once, fully crystallized in my brain, and I think those parts are to die for, and then all the stuff that I think could have been skipped, I was like, I don't even remember any of this. So
yeah. Okay, so in the small town of Pontypool, Ontario, radio announcer Grant Massey is driving on his way to work. When he pulls over to stop in the middle of a snowstorm, he is startled by a woman banging against his window while repeating an indistinct word, then seemingly repeating Massey's utterings before staggering away.
So scary.
Yeah, totally. This is the kind of stuff I love, though. It's like when people act in a really odd way and it's like, okay, that was strange, and you don't have any explanation why. At the radio station, Grant's shock jock style and on-air persona entertain his technical assistant Laurel Ann while irritating his station manager Sydney. Yeah, what did you think about the interaction between these three?
I think that Stephen McHattie, perfect casting. You can tell that is exactly who they thought of the character for Grant Mazzy, and I thought he's great. And then the other two, I don't feel like Sydney was a great actress, and I do not feel like Laurel Ann was that great, but for her character, I thought she was fine. But, yeah, I don't know. Their dynamic was a bit odd, and I wish we kind of had more info. Like, I feel like they didn't even give him enough info when he got this job.
About
Like,
what a small town it was, or
yeah, like there's so many things that he doesn't seem to understand, and I'm like, why wasn't this told to him beforehand? Like you're being like, "Oh, you don't know this." And it's like, "Yeah, well, it's your job to tell him. You're the producer."
yeah, I mean, I gather that he was let go from a bigger show, probably in the big city, because of some of his comments. So I just imagine this is like trying to think of what I just like blanked on all of their names. But those shock jocks who like
Yeah. Like a Opie and Anthony.
I guess so. Yeah, that sort of style. But I feel like this guy was like kind of like a really big personality. And here he's having to like talk about school closures and things like that. And so he's really not equipped. It's probably a humiliation for him in a lot of ways.
For sure.
Helicopter reporter Ken Loney calls in with a report about a riot at the office of Dr. John Mendez that has resulted in numerous deaths. I thought the acting on this was pretty good.
Yes, anytime that they had a call in on like that, to me that was I could almost imagine this being like a radio play. I feel like maybe the story would I'm sure the book is great. I always think like when you watch it, you really do think, oh, this is based off a book. Because some scenes I feel like if they described the tension the characters felt while listening, that would have a better effect. But still, I think they did a great job. It's still to make something gripping when you're just having people in one room listen to an audio recording, like that's great.
Yeah. After Ken is unexpectedly cut off, the group tries to confirm his report, but their witnesses are disconnected before being put on the airwaves. After they are contacted by the BBC for breaking the story, Ken calls back and says he has taken refuge in a grain silo. He describes the rioters as trying to eat one another or even themselves. When one of the rioters attacks the silo, Ken's call is interrupted by an audio transmission in French.
That one was so creepy, especially once they translate it.
Yeah, I love it. I wish I don't have the line by line, but it's just like, don't talk to any loved ones. Don't use any terms of endearment. And then some other things. And then it says, do not translate this message.
And like Grant, his delivery is just so good. Like I feel like that guy just has a great voice and just I don't know, there was something about the shot and just the way he was talking and the way his mouth was moving, like especially when he says, "Do not translate this message." I just thought that was so like chilling.
Yeah, for sure. Pontypool is declared to be under quarantine. A confused and disbelieving Grant attempts to leave, but a horde of people attacks the station, and Grant, Sydney, and Laurel Ann lock themselves inside.
That is one of my favorite moments ever when Grant is like losing it. Like I felt like that was so, I don't know, to me just a really good depiction of just like him being like, I need to know that there's something else besides what's happening to me right now. Like yes. I'm going crazy right now. And I thought that was very well done. Like he to me is the best, most well-written character.
I saw James A. Janice's take on this. And apparently there was a part that was cut out that was a miniature of an ice fishing hut underneath his desk. So it's like a hallucination that he's having.
Oh.
And they cut it because it was goofy. It didn't work.
That makes sense, though.
Yeah. So he's just like, what is happening? He's losing it. He's got to go outside. As Laurel Ann shows signs of instability, to say the least, Dr. Mendez arrives at the radio station through a window and hides with Grant and Sydney in the soundproof booth. This character...
Here's where they start to lose me.
Yeah. Okay. How do you want to say more about that?
He's the worst actor by far, and he ruins all the tension. Like, there's so much tension, and it feels like this guy does. First off, I'm like, how did he survive? Ken Loney describes a building exploding with people, and this guy gets out no scrapes, not even bloodied in any way, and he knows to go here. He crawls through the window and he's just like, guys, don't talk. You know, it just feels like everything that was building up is just like they just popped the balloon and you can't refill it back up. And I hate him.
Yeah. And he's like supposedly the scientist, and he feels like he knows a little bit about the virus that has taken over the minds of these people. But he's like giddy with excitement, and the tone is really weird.
Yeah.
So also Laurel Ann, has she started to repeat things?
Yes. And then like the teapot, the tea kettle, like yes. Sid goes to get it, but then when it stops to go on, like, Laurel Ann is still making the noise. That part was so creepy.
Yeah, her head's tilted to the side and she's just like making the sound of the teapot. So she's outside the booth, and Sydney and Grant are on the inside of the booth. Ken calls in, and while on the air succumbs to the virus.
Especially when he's talking about like the whole description of the boy, like he names a woman's like teenage boy, and he specifies that he's like a big kid, and he busts in and like his hands are broken, but then he like puts the phone close to his voice and it's like a baby talking. Mm-hmm. That to me is the ultimate scariest part. Like that part is so creepy. And I remembered that so clear because I remember watching that at Layla's house just being like, oh my God. Like it freaked me out so much. The baby voice is so scary.
Yeah, super, super scary. And Ken says something like, it's a symbol of the disease. And the doctor's like, don't you mean a symptom of the disease? And he's like, yes, it's a simple of the disease. It's a sample. It's a simple sample. Or he just like can't get out of that loop. And that's indicative of what happens with this virus. Laurel Ann begins to slam her head against the sound booth window and chews off her lower lip. Oh, that's what she did. I didn't understand that part.
Yeah, I guess later she's got some prosthetic that it's like she busted her lip. But yeah, I guess she was just ramming.
Right.
And they're all like, again, meant like this could have been a heart-wrenching, serious moment because she's a sweet character and like, you know, she's just come back from Afghanistan and stuff. There's all this, you know, there's a relationship between her and Sydney, and she's nice to Grant, like seems to look up to him. But then fucking Mendez is there and he's just like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, she's hunting for us. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like that's the tone he's got, is just like, oh yeah, whatever. So that's what you think as the audience, like, okay, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mendez hypothesizes that a virus has infected certain words in the English language. Only certain words infect certain people who then find another person to kill themselves with. Sydney receives a call from her children, only to hear them becoming infected. I didn't know that happened.
Is that what happened?
I didn't know that.
I don't, because they specify that they're like 100 kilometers away from like Pontypool. Like they live in the city. Yeah. So I didn't think that that's what happened.
I didn't think so too. The only problem was, as an audience member, you're feeling a little bit of tension because she keeps calling them honey and sweetheart. And we know that you're not supposed to do that. So maybe she has just now infected them or passed along the virus.
Oh, shit.
But we don't hear them succumb to the virus like with Ken.
Yeah.
Outside the booth, Laurel Ann vomits a large amount of blood and drops dead. Mendez suspects this has happened since she failed to find a victim. The horde then breaks into the radio station, attacking the sound booth. Sydney records a loop of Grant's voice and plays it on an outside speaker to draw the mob away. And what is it? Sydney?
Yes, Sydney last name is alive.
Yeah. And that's just like over and over and over. And it works. It draws them outside. Mendez starts repeating the word breathe, but immediately starts speaking Armenian upon realizing that the virus is exclusive to the English language, which prevents the virus from infecting him. Well, it doesn't really. He gets infected.
Yeah. And I don't know. Like, now I'm just realizing, like, why did they ever break into the studio anyway if they were just on the radio that played outside and then that's how they get them away? That makes no sense.
Yeah, they would have had to hear them like Laurel Ann did.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. It doesn't make sense. In response, Grant and Sydney start speaking French, very, very broken French. When the recording fails, the mob returns, but Mendez lures them away, saving Sydney and Grant, who now lock themselves in the equipment room. While Grant tries to figure out how to reverse the symptom, Sydney begins obsessively writing on the walls and door and is infected by the word kill. She's also getting drunk. Drinking wine.
She is not a good actress. She's not good at acting drunk in any way. She does just the whole like, whatever, you're just trying to figure it out. We're going to die anyway. You know, it's just like, that's when I'm checking my watch. Like, is this movie done yet?
Grant convinces her that the word kill now means kiss, and her symptoms subside.
And I hate this. I hate that they kiss. I hate it so much. Yeah, I'm like, why?
It comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, I don't like looking at them kiss. It makes me unhappy. Honestly, I take off 1 star just for the kiss alone.
Yeah, it's pretty maddening because they have a kind of adversarial relationship, and there's been no hint at all that there's any kind of sexual tension between them or anything like that.
And I would love to just see some friends, you know?
Yeah,
like
that would be nice.
He's not like insanely older than her, but he's older than her, and like, you know, if they could just be coworkers, like, is that cool?
I don't know. It's a man and a woman, and they're together.
You're right. At least it wasn't Laurel Ann, I gotta say. At least it wasn't Laurel Ann that he kissed. So I guess I have to give them props for that.
Oh my God. Hoping to stop the virus, the pair go on the air, spouting a series of self-contradicting and confusing phrases to help their infected listeners, ignoring warnings from the authorities, trying to get them off the air. While an amplified voice from outside counts down from 10, Sydney joins Grant in the booth and they kiss. An explosion can be heard when the film cuts to black. Over the black, news reports of further outbreaks of the virus suggest that the quarantine failed, spread by the news itself, and eventually reaching England, the source of the targeted language. Ha! That's funny. Because I had a creative writing professor and he was quoting somebody else, but he's like, I wish our language wasn't called English. I wish it was called American, because it really is our own language.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, like, when you listen to someone super Scottish, too, I mean, like, Scottish to me is its own language.
Oh, sure. I mean, Yeah, I don't know. It just for such a large country and for all the regionalisms that we have and everything that we've borrowed from other languages, I mean, it's just sort of this soup, but it's our soup, damn it. Yeah, so this post-credit scene is really weird. Sydney and Grant, now known as Lisa the Killer and Johnny Deadeyes, survive the virus and continue speaking English by maintaining a system of improvisational role play as the screen shifts from black and white to color.
Oh wow, I missed that
Did
scene.
you turn it
because
off?
as soon as it went to black, I turned it off. I was like, and I'm done.
Well, there's an alternative ending in the radio
Ooh.
play. So like you said, Mac, yeah.
It's a perfect radio play.
Whilst the radio play version of the story changes a few features, such as the more visual elements being restyled for audio or removed altogether, it also features an alternative ending. In this ending, when Grant convinces Sydney that kill now means kiss, she asks Grant to kiss her. In the film version, she says kill, leading to them kissing. That makes more sense.
I like that better.
Kiss me meaning kill me.
Yeah, like I don't want to succumb. So
Yeah.
that is so much better in
better.
so many ways. That's like 1,000,000 times better.
Soon after, when broadcasting his own obituaries of Laurel Ann and Mendez, who Grant assumes will meet his demise eventually, he confirms the death of Sydney, implying that he kissed her at her request. Grant, now completely alone, realizes that he has become infected through the word paper. Resigned to his fate, he allows himself to be taken by the word, repeating it over and over again, before finally uttering one different word, trap.
That is so much of a better ending. Like,
Yes.
They should not survive. Why would they survive?
They don't. I mean, they don't. That post-credit scene is just the actors being goofballs, I think. It doesn't. Yeah.
And it's so much better if they succumb. Like, that's what I want to see in a movie like this is, like, one of my favorite zombie shows, I forget what it's called, but it's all about like if zombies hit during Big Brother and the zombies are fast zombies, so there's no way to win, and it ends with everybody dying. And that to me is how it should go. Like, that is scary.
Yeah, and I think a plague is terrifying. And this kind of thing where it infects your brain, I think is one of the most terrifying ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's some trivia, Mac. Pontypool was produced as both a motion picture and as a radio play. Both versions of Pontypool were influenced by Orson Welles' infamous radio production of The War of the Worlds. The radio play was broadcast on the BBC's Art and Culture section of their World Service website. It is approximately 58 minutes long, as opposed to... Okay, boring. Bruce McDonald, the director of the film, has said that the victims of the virus are called conversationalists as opposed to zombies. In describing the stages of the virus, McDonald said, "There are 3 stages to this virus. The first stage is you might begin to repeat a word. Something gets stuck. And usually it's words that are terms of endearment like sweetheart or honey. The second stage is your language becomes scrambled and you can't express yourself properly. The third stage is that you become so distraught at your condition that the only way out of the situation you feel as an infected person is to try and chew your way through the mouth of another person."
They should have, like, this guy's got some great ideas. Why are you saying this in an interview and not in the movie that you made?
Yeah. I thought this was so weird. At approximately 36 minutes into the movie, the character of Ken reports on a group of infected taking 2 people from a van and biting them. The sound of the victim screaming is partially taken from the famous chest-bursting scene from the film Alien, 1979. You can even hear the distinct hissing sound as John Hurt's character's chest spurts blood for the first time. One scene features Neil Stephenson's novel Snow Crash, a book featuring an earworm or mimetic virus that transfers itself through verbal information. Great novel.
Oh, you recommend?
Strongly, yes. It's really good. Snow Crash. Ah, so good. Maybe I'll read it again. Well, briefly, what does Letterboxd have to say about it? Mate gave it a half star. If understanding is what kills you, then I'm safe because I didn't understand any of that shit. Emma gave it a half star. Shit from ass, shit from ass, shit from ass, shit from ass, shit from ass.
Emma, you've outdone yourself.
Nathan gave it a half star. I got an infected word for the movie. Ass.
Yes! 2 ass reviews. That I felt like Nathan wrote that for us.
I know.
Specifically.
Maybe he did, or maybe they did. Heather Elaine Abbott gave it 5 stars. This film proves that the power of suggestion and the audience's imagination are a low-budget film's best friend. Wouldn't it be best friends? Okay. Gripping from start to finish, this allegory for war crimes and genocide slowly reveals the true message of the film throughout its runtime until it poetically puts a fine point on it in the final minutes. With a few jump scares scattered throughout, there are more traditional scares to be found. However, the lasting effect is more existentially haunting than spooky or scary.
That's really nice, Heather.
The Cave We Wander gave it 5 stars. Hey, so did you guys know that Sydney Brier is alive? Also, don't watch this movie if you're emetophobic. Okay, real review time. I fucking love this movie. It was such a fun twist on a zombie premise. I also love that they managed to scare me so much all while having one setting. Also says a lot about society. The government is arguably scarier than the infected.
Humans are the real monsters. I'm sorry.
PDK2396 gave it 5 stars. It was a rewatch.
Wow.
Each time I watch this, the more I'm convinced this is what a zombie apocalypse would look like in America.
This took place in Canada.
But
if
it were in the US, this is what it would look like.
What does that even mean, PDK? I love that it's like, I've watched this more than once. I've thought this more than once. That's... What would your word be? Mine would be bruh.
Where's this genocide stuff coming from? Also, why does it say that the government is bad?
Because they bomb them at the end.
Yeah, but that's what you
gotta
do.
take care of it somehow.
That's what they did in
Like,
Cloverfield.
and like he's all like, you know, I got the answer, but when he actually goes on the air, he's just talking a bunch of shit. Like, he does not help anybody. So it's kind of like, you don't have the answer.
Well, I think he was on to something, but he didn't stick to his guns. He just, I don't know, wanted to pontificate a little more.
Pontificate in Pontypool?
No. What? Well, how would we rate this? How about in terms of radio microphones?
2.5.
I'll give it 3. I think it's
okay.
Fine. I think the first part is really good.
So, such a solid start. And that's what makes it all the more disappointing to me.
Yeah, I can totally
If they
see
could have
that.
just found somebody different for Mr. John Mendez, that would have been great. Anyone different.
Yeah. Or directed him differently. Like, I just don't understand why
Yeah.
he's so excited. Because you're
Yeah.
right. He's come from this mob. He's seen unspeakable horrors. And he's just like, oh, this is interesting. Watch this part.
He seems like a figment of their imagination, like through every step. Like he enters in such a weird way. Yeah.
And then he exits. He comes in and
he the same exact way.
Oh, yeah. I like that take. What if he were? I mean,
yeah,
that would be interesting.
It is a better explanation than just him being like that.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. What if that's part of them going insane? Is this like folie à deux that they're having? Like they have the same hallucination of Dr.
Yeah.
Because he wouldn't have survived, really. Like that.
No, with nary a scratch. He's not even sweaty.
Nary. Well, what have we learned, Mac?
Well, maybe also listen to him, because he tells them so many times, like, guys, okay, I was there. Don't be talking. And they're like going up to Laura and like, are you okay? You know, so maybe if like the guy who was there when it all went down tells you something, listen and like protect yourself in the soundproof booth. And also the helicopters were trying to get them to come outside. They were like, is Sydney Breyer there? Like, does, you know, so I don't know. Take the chopper.
Yeah. Yeah, they could have gotten out of there. Maybe. If the horde hadn't gotten them.
Yeah. But if they don't see you, if you don't talk, then just like walk around all quiet. Isn't there like a perfect way to avoid this?
I think you're right.
Yeah.
They just can't keep their mouths shut.
Now that would be American. That's for you, PDK.
Would we watch it again?
Yeah, I would. Like,
I would watch it again.
Up to a point.
Yeah.
I'd like hit stop after a little bit.
Did you have a favorite scene or kill?
Yes. Anytime Ken Loney called in, I thought that was all very gripping and like almost felt like I know it must not have been, but like when the voices are overlapping of like Sydney talking over to Grant being like, we don't know if this is confirmed, and like him kind of rolling with that and like speaking, being like, you know, can you tell us anything else, Ken? I thought all of that was very engaging.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would agree with that. I liked Laurel Ann too. I thought she was really, really good in the beginning. You're right. I don't think the actress Lisa Houle was that strong, which is unfortunate because it might have been a better film. I think when Laurel Ann, she says something and then she claps her hand over her mouth, like she realizes that it's happening to her. And she's all alone in that moment. Like everybody else has gone back to the booth. And so I thought that was pretty scary.
Yeah. Like, what would you do?
I mean, it's over for you. Who wins the You Fool award?
Maybe Dr. Mendez?
Yeah.
I still don't understand why he went there, and like or maybe Sydney. Like they just said do not use terms of endearment, and she's all on the phone like, hey sweetie baby honey pie, you know. So I'm gonna say her. She could not listen to instructions.
No, she really couldn't. Yeah. And becoming a sloppy drunk at the end of the world is not a good look.
No, like, come on. And she was telling him, like, stop trying. Like, girl.
Yeah.
Just go outside then.
Yeah, just sacrifice yourself. But yeah, I think the real fool is the writer. I wish he would have stuck with the original ending.
Yeah, it was way better.
Would have been way better, way scarier. Well, that's Pontypool.
Well, let us start our second movie. And I want to give a short, I don't know what to call it, but I want to say to enhance the context of my opinion of this movie, I went in with expectations of I'm going to hate this movie. I was prepared to not give it any chances because I will say I am not a fan of Lars von Trier. I've seen many of his movies and thought, like, they're all long, and I've watched like over 3 of them, and I thought they all were bad. So, and yet, I thought I was surprised by this movie. So, if that gives you any, he was not given a fair shot in the beginning. So, just wanted to say that. I still don't trust him, but
Oh no.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so our next movie about the end of the world is Melancholia. Here is a short plot summary from IMDb. 2 sisters find their already strained relationship challenged as a mysterious new planet threatens to collide with Earth. It was directed and written by Mr. Lars von Trier. It starred Kirsten Dunst, Charlotte Gainsbourg, Alexander Skarsgård, Brady Corbett, Cameron Spur, Charlotte Rampling, Jesper Christensen, John Hurt, Stellan Skarsgård, Udo Kier, Kiefer Sutherland, with cinematography by Manuel Alberto Claro and edited by Molly Malene Stensgaard. It was released May 18th, 2011 at Cannes and has a runtime of 130 minutes. So much like his other movies, long as hell. And I will say, I feel like you could cut a lot out of this movie and it would be 1,000 times better.
Really? Wow.
Dare I say, all of part 1.
All of part 1?
This is what I wanted to talk to you about. Was I wanted to ask, like, because I saw a comment when I was looking up other people's thoughts, and somebody said, I think you could take out all of part 1 and not miss anything. And I thought, your face is so horrible. So I'm going to guess that you disagree.
Oh, I strongly disagree. Oh my God.
I'm prepared for my mind to be changed.
Part 1 tells you so much about the character of Justine. I mean, if you just saw part 2, you know, you don't have any of that context. And
that's true.
Wow.
Maybe they both could be rewritten because I will say I prefer Justine in part 1 than to part 2. Part 2, she starts part 1 and the little bit of beginning of part 2. I'm thinking this is a great depiction of depression. Then by the end of part 2, I'm like, is she like, she's acting like a character who's got like autistic superpowers.
Yeah. Yeah.
That bothers me a little bit because I'm just like, where did that come from? But we'll get into it.
Point. Yeah. Okay.
So this movie is split into 2 parts, as maybe you have already guessed. Part 1, Justine, the sister, played by Kirsten Dunst, and part 2 is Claire, played by Charlotte Gainsbourg. I like how they never clarify why they have different accents. This never comes up.
No, never.
Why they don't look similar, like...
No, it doesn't matter.
Nope. We don't care. And you know, honestly, that's pretty bold. And I gotta say, okay, all right. Okay, how do you... I hate the sound of silverware on plates. It like... I feel like I only associate it with family tension because that's all in so many movies with family tension. It's all you hear is the clink, 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 clink. So now it like it's the opposite of ASMR to me. It gives me a chill. There's a lot of that in this movie.
There is a lot of that. There's a lot of tension at this wedding. Yeah. But I love this first part, and I know you didn't see this film, but I love how the limo is too big for the road.
Yes. It's like, why? So now they're more than 2 hours late to their own wedding
Yeah, that's
or the
hilarious.
reception.
It reminded me, and I don't know if this was an homage or whatever, but it reminded me of the scene of Force Majeure where the bus is too big to do the turnaround at the top of this like incredibly scary hill. And it gets to the point where people just like get off the bus because they're like too frightened to stay on the bus. But I thought this was hilarious. I'm like, oh, good. If the movie's going to be like this, I am totally in. You fool.
The mood, it just continues to go down. But no, you make a good point. We do get a lot of like characterization. Like we get Justine and Michael, the newlyweds in their limo that does not fit, and so they're so late, but they're being pretty giggly. And I do love this. I think Kirsten Dunst's character is great because you begin to realize that and as soon as they get there, they should just run right into the castle and start the reception. But she has to go talk to her favorite horse first. And looking back on it, you realize like she's just trying to put off this as much as she can, like anything she can do to just not be in the moment she's about to be in. This made me like obviously womanhood is not all this movie. Okay, I don't know why my camera's doing that. It does that sometimes. But stuff like this is what scared me when I was younger, like about being a girl. Like I thought this is what life just had to be like, and this was my worst nightmare, was having to be in some giant wedding that you didn't want to be a part of. And I mean, she's just being thrust into roles she doesn't want to be in. And she is putting on her bravest face, but it's all crumbling. So Justine and Michael arrive at this castle that's owned by Justine's brother-in-law, John, Mr. Kiefer Sutherland, and her sister Claire. And Claire's kind of been like the wedding planner, I guess, too, because she seems to have a huge part in running the wedding. And I mean, everybody's disappointed in Justine, like immediately. I feel like even though it's understandable why they're so upset, I really felt for her at so many times. It just felt like there was nothing she could ever do to like please these people.
No, not at all. And I feel like that's sort of like, I mean, I hate weddings. I really do. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of marriage itself, but I mean, I hate weddings, traditional weddings. You have to like really play with the tropes for me to like want to be at your wedding. I just think it's a really disgusting display. And she's an intelligent person, and she really hates just all of that. They keep saying like, this is your big day, or, this is your moment. And she's like, yeah, I guess that's true. And she's just really not, she's playing the game sort of. But her depression, along with, I think, her not wanting to be there are very apparent.
Yes. And there's such a sense of like, well, we're doing this for you. We spent all this money and time for you. And she's just like, okay, thanks, I guess, that was your choice to do that. She did not hold a gun up to anybody's head. Some people, I think, really based off what I read online, really misinterpret her character and are like, she's so unlikable. And I did not get that at all. I thought she was incredibly relatable. Maybe that makes me unlikable, but I really was like, oh, this is so relatable. Like, this is the most relatable way to, like, this would be a fucking nightmare to be in a fucking castle with all these people dressed up looking at you like you've already made 1 million mistakes, and that you're not being happy enough when, okay, if it is her day, then maybe she should be able to do whatever she wants. Okay. So anyways, when they arrive, she notices like this star, and that's when we get this context that Kiefer Sutherland is like knows a lot about astronomy, and he explains that it's the star Antares, and just and I forgot to mention that at the very beginning of the movie is this whole sequence where we see a planet colliding with the Earth. So it is not a spoiler for us to say that that is what happens at the end. Like, and that was obviously intentional of like, you don't have to have any tension about, is this going to happen? It's more like what would happen if that happened, which I like a lot. Yeah. Because I would have been wondering the whole time. So as soon as they enter the castle, there's a wedding planner dude asks to guess how many beans are in a bottle for a game, and Justine just like does not give a shit, like and in a way neither does Michael, who guesses like 1.2 million or something. And the guy's like, oh, do you want to put in something for the lady? And he's like, oh, I would never deign to do such a thing. And so, there's all this pomp that Justine does not care about. And so it is awkward even within the venue, because Justine's divorced parents, Gabby and Dexter, clearly hate each other. When there's like a moment for a toast, like the dad who sat around these women all named Betty, and is just, this would fucking piss me off if I was the ex-wife. Like, he's just making these women giggle so much, and she obviously just hates this guy. And I feel like I could see both sides of like Justine looking at him as like, her dad and like loving him, but you gotta think, if you're the ex-wife, you would just be like, I fucking hate this guy. Why am I at this table with him? And that is how the mom seems to be. Because the dad mentions the mom in his speech. He's like, some people have described her as domineering. So then she stands up and she's like, well, and gets extremely domineering. And I kind of love her. Like, she does seem like a too realistic nightmare of a horrible mom to deal with. Like, she does seem crazy, but I also really like the kinship that's there between her and Justine, of like, this mom clearly has a lot of like, mental health issues and problems, but so does Justine, and is kind of the only one that sees Justine in the way I feel like should be seen, like sees her pain, and is the only one actually giving good advice, which is run away.
Yeah, she's like, enjoy it while it lasts.
And like Kiefer Sutherland is like fucking losing it. He's like, is everyone in your family crazy?
He's really great. I thought he did an excellent job. Yeah, and the mom's wearing like a t-shirt, like she's not dressed up at all. And Claire, the other sister's like, why did you even come to the wedding? So there's obviously a lot of tension in the family, but I thought that was a really good insight that, they're obviously both mentally ill, Justine and the mom. And, maybe the mom's the only one who really understands Justine. I mean, she does seem to be in love with Michael. That was the only part that I was a little bit confused by. Like, they seem really good together. Like when they're in the limo.
He makes her laugh. Yeah.
And they kiss, and they just seem very close with each other.
I think it is, though, that he's kind of stupid. Like, because he does this speech where he's like, well, I don't make speeches. And the mom goes, well, maybe you should let her do it then. And when he does make the speech, it is stupid. Like, he is just like, I never thought I'd have a wife so beautiful, and I love you, and I think I'm the luckiest man in the world. Okay, that's it, And it is like, that's great, He's really handsome.
Very handsome.
And he is like a puppy. Like, he does really try, but I think he clearly does not have the stuff, I think, to withstand the tide of her. And that's nothing against him. Yeah. He seems like a nice guy. which I really liked, was that he did seem like a really nice guy, but like it just doesn't work out sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And like, God, I loved the symbolism of when he like, oh, I've been wanting to show you this. He has gotten them like a plot of land with these like with this apple orchard. And like, I feel like this so clearly pinpoints that he does not understand depression in any way. Cause he's like, in 10 years, the trees will grow and provide shade. And, if you ever were feeling sad, you could sit under the tree and then maybe you wouldn't feel so sad anymore. And it's like, she literally goes like, that's really sweet. Like, exactly. Like, that is such a nice thought. That would be so great if that's how it worked.
Right.
But it's not. And, and then he, gives her this picture and he's like, I want you to, to be thinking about it, and she leaves it as soon as she leaves the room, which is so clear that like this really doesn't penetrate her, the fog in her mind in any way. Like, I really don't think she's a bad person. I just really feel like this is like, I remember talking to somebody, I won't name them, but we're talking about mental health, and this person basically said, well, I just think if I get a partner that I really love, that will fix everything, because when I don't want to like leave, they'll just like be like, oh, we should leave. And I just like had to laugh to myself, because like that would be so great again if that was how it worked. Right. The actual worst thing is that you will be with somebody that you love more than anything and still not be happy, because there's something within you that cannot be happy. That is torture and is hell. And like that is the worst thing about depression, is like it would be so awesome if that's how it worked. But yeah. But it's not that easy.
Yeah, I think it's a really good depiction of, I can't remember what they call it, functional depression or like happy depression. There's a name for it, where you seem like you're perfectly fine and you are functioning, but you are absolutely dying inside.
Yes.
And I think her performance is, shows that. And I think if you have suffered from depression, well, first of all, I'm sorry, because I know it sucks. But then you understand this. And if you haven't suffered from depression, it doesn't make any sense. Why don't you just snap out of it? Why don't you just look at what a great life you have and just be happy? And it's not the way it works.
Yeah. And it's like, that is the infuriating thing, when you can even see it in yourself. And she says at some point of just like, I should be happy with this. Like, this should make me happy. And that is such a painful feeling of just like, well, I thought this was what I wanted, but it's not fixing anything. Yeah. And she seems like so close to just like breaking at any moment, and like her sister, who I still think is a really well-meaning sister. Like, I still feel like there's so many ways a person could act when somebody's got depression. And this Claire still clearly loves Justine so much, but just does not get it too. And she says like, just don't make a scene, and it's like, you should be saying to this person, like, how do you feel? Like, what is the reality? But because the thing that Justine knows is that nobody wants to hear how she actually feels, because the answer will not be what they want to hear. And Claire's like, well, you're lying to everybody. And it's like, why wouldn't she?
Yeah, of course she is.
Yeah. Okay. I'm coming around on this part more.
She is lying to everybody, but so is everybody lying to themselves too, except for the mom.
Yeah, the mom is the only one keeping it real.
Yeah. But it is a lie. It's ridiculous. She's wearing white. Brides wear white because they're supposed to be virginal and pure. Come on. And I don't know. She looks like a princess, and they're in a castle and all this stuff, and it's supposed to be this like big moment that'll signify the rest of their life together. And clearly, not.
And her fucking boss is there, and he's the
Yep.
best man because he's Michael's dad, I guess, right?
No, he said that was weird. They really are related, obviously.
Oh, okay.
Stallan and
Yeah.
Alexander. But no, he's his best man. But I
That is
think it
so
was
weird.
just a way to get him into the wedding.
Yeah.
Michael was like, yeah, sure, you can be my best man. Yeah, I hadn't thought of Michael as being stupid, but now you're so right. He's just a big lunk.
Yeah. He's so sweet, but he
Yeah.
just has got nothing up there. And I think and you kind of maybe don't see how intelligent Justine must be, but it's like then when you're seeing the employer, Jack, he's saying to other people, like, she's a genius, like she's always got something going on in her head. And during his speech, he promotes her to art director of the advising firm or advertising firm. And like, I would I would fucking flip a table if my goddamn boss was at my own wedding and then asking me to work. That would be so crazy. Because he sends this like intern guy like to get a tagline from her. And it's so funny the way she reacts to the intern of like, at first she's just like first dances with him and then just kind of like pushes him out of the way and just like slams a door on him.
Mm-hmm. You know who that is?
But who?
Brady Court. He was in Funny Games in the American version.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I thought he had a cute face. And so towards the end of the party, which goes on for fucking ever, like at one point, Justine falls asleep, like after putting her nephew to bed. And Claire, like when she wakes her up, I just felt so bad for Justine because she's like, come on, like you have to get up. And she's like, I'm just so tired. And yeah, like, all she wants to do is just take everything off. And then there's this moment where, like, once all the festivities have kind of ended, Michael carries her to their room and begins to get, like, kind of hot and heavy with her. But she's, like, kind of like, can I just get a second, please? And zips her stuff. Like, he zips her dress back up and she leaves. And he's just kind of there, obviously feeling a little bit humiliated of, like, I mean, because, right after the wedding, is normally when the bride and groom, get it on and stuff. And now she's just left and like poured a bunch of cold water on him. And she sees her boss eating, like he makes her eat this like bowl of soup from a truck. I'm like, what is happening at this wedding? And she, goes into a little speech of just being like, I fucking hate you and I hate your fucking firm. And, I quit. And he throws a plate and it breaks. And she also on the golf course, like the intern that's been following her, she just like gets on top of him and starts having sex with him. Not in view of anybody, but still very crazy thing to do on your wedding day. And so, and then she tries to get her dad to stay. I get the sense that like, she and her dad are very close, but he just simply does not stay, even though she gets a room made up for him, which I think really hurts her. And so then Michael leaves the venue as well. And they kind of have like a little talk together where, he's like, this could have been, says something like, this could have been really great. And she's like, it could have been, but it won't. Oh my God. And then the fucking intern tries to get in on it where he's like, well, now you're without a job and like a man, you got the brains. I got the business acumen. Like we could be the ultimate power couple. And she's just like, I don't think that would be a good idea. This stupid idiot. That would be my last straw.
What I kind of like about her is she still has dignity, despite the fact that, she's taking a bath in the middle of her wedding reception and, things like this. And I think part of that is probably the director just wanting this imagery. Like wedding dresses, and especially hers, are so insane, that it's just kind of funny to see her in all these different, settings, asleep in the bed with the nephew and that kind of thing. And yeah, I also love it when Claire wakes her up and like makes her throw the bouquet of flowers, but Claire just throws it, just like just like over the side.
Because she's just like standing there looking dead-eyed down at everybody.
Oh man,
Claire's got like a whole different set of neuroses, I think.
Totally. Oh my, well, she's married to Jack or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I think she's like the anxiety, Justine's the depression.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I would say.
Yeah. Sometimes people get unlucky and get both.
Yeah. Don't look glass.
Sometimes that happens.
Randomly.
So crazy. I wonder what that's
Two
like.
co-hosts on the same podcast.
Lucky us. So everybody leaves, the worst wedding ever. And, oh my God. At one point, also I forgot to mention the butler says to Claire, like, I will not be looking at her because she ruined my wedding. And like every time he's around, Justine like puts his hand up.
That's the wedding planner. Yeah.
Oh, that's the wedding planner. Yeah.
Yeah. She ruined my wedding.
Yeah.
Amazing. Oh, he's
so then after everybody leaves, the wedding planner tells Claire that the number of beans in the bottle was 678 and that nobody guessed correctly. And Claire just goes like, well, that's fucking, what does she say? Something like frivolous, like how frivolous. And they're like, well, what prize? Who's going to get the prize? She's just like, it doesn't matter. Who cares?
Throw it away.
Yeah, just throw them all away. And so early the next morning, while horse riding with Claire, Justine notices that Antares is no longer visible in the sky. Part 2, Claire. Now, I just do gotta say, I do like part 1 better now. But, and I really don't enjoy, I think there's just imperfections in both parts. Mm-hmm. Like, I really wish that Justine was a little bit different in this part because, again, like by the end, I'm just like, who are you? But I like the message of it all.
I think if part of the first part is our, looking at everybody through Justine's eyes, and part of the Claire part is looking at everybody through Claire's eyes. So I think, this is the way Claire sees her, not really the way she is.
Okay, I see that. Well, we see sometime after the wedding, Justine arrives at John and Claire's estate, and she is even more depressed. I mean, this woman is like really having like a mental health crisis. She struggles to even leave her bed and to eat and to bathe herself. And Claire is really going above and beyond, trying to really take care of her, to the chagrin of her husband, Jack, who's just like, can't your sister do anything for herself? He's really got zero empathy for her in any way. So I really was touched by this depiction of like really somebody seeing what's happening to Justine as like an illness affecting her. Not that she's being a child, not that she's, throwing a tantrum, just like this is somebody who needs help. And like Claire has brought it upon herself to be that person. And I thought that was very sweet. And so it turns out that Antares' apparent absence is revealed to be due to a rogue planet named Melancholia. And it has appeared from behind the sun and passed in front of Antares, occulting it. And John says that according to the scientists' calculations, Melancholia will pass in proximity to Earth, but will not collide with it. And I do love this kind of like slice of time of, I know this wasn't that long ago, but I feel like in if this movie were taking place today, Claire would always be on her phone. But he just is like, are you going on the internet again? Like the family desktop? Because she's basically doing the 2011 equivalent of doom scrolling. She's finding everything that points to it will hit Earth and kill everybody. And he's like, no, those are the wrong scientists. I know the good ones. And they say that won't happen. And Claire is just like consumed with anxiety of this idea that melancholia will hit. And but John is like sorry, I called him Jack earlier. Jack's the boss.
So did I.
John is like so excited about this. Yes, Kiefer is so excited about this along with their son, Leo. Is pretty cute. Like, even though you can feel Claire's anxiety, I mean, they're like getting out the telescope, taking photos with it. Like, Leo's making a little, doohickey to track if it's coming closer. And I thought that was all kind of like another great kind of depiction of I've also been there of something is giving me so much anxiety that I cannot enjoy the moment of anything. Yeah. And is pretty rough. Like when you see other people having fun, even at something that is the thing giving you anxiety is pretty, like I went to Animazed with, or Animazement, with Alan last year. And I just felt bad because there were a bajillion people there and I just was having like a total like panic moment of like, I can't be in this convention center. And it impeded his enjoyment of it, because I kept having to be like, can we go outside? Like, I can't be here. And like, I had to leave early and I felt really bad, even though he understood. And I know it's not something I can necessarily help. It's still, when it's happening though, you're just like, God, like, why can't I just like stop freaking out about this? Other people are having fun, but I can't.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the unfortunate part about, anxiety, and I've been having a lot lately, like a lot more than usual, and it's so weird because my brain will just be like, keep it together, don't freak out, because if I'm in front of a class, it's like not a really great place to have a panic attack, and I can sort of talk to myself, but that also sort of ramps up like my heart rate, at the same time. So it's just I don't know, the brain tries, I think. But, sometimes the body just like takes over and there's nothing that you can do about it, and you might feel bad.
You just have to write it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. Let's see. So John is trying to calm her down, telling her to stay off the internet, but he does secretly secure some food and gasoline just in case. He asks Justine to not mention it, which let's not keep secrets from our spouses, maybe. Like, that's like just not a good thing to do ever. And I like this idea of like kind of all these different approaches to obviously like a planet possibly colliding with the Earth, but also just the fact that it's called melancholia, we can kind of like postulate, like, I guess the idea of depression itself hitting you of, Claire is scared at the idea that it will happen. And then we have John being like, it won't happen. You don't have to think about it because it won't happen. And then we have Claire who's kind of like, yeah, it will. Who cares?
Yeah. It's just what happens sometimes.
Yeah. It's good. Whatever. It's going to happen. And, Claire is like increasingly losing it, but Justine is like longing for it. At one point, Claire, there's this beautiful shot where, like Justine leaves the castle in the middle of the night and we see kind of these two moons, like the Earth's moon and then Melancholia. And so it's like this blue lighting mixed with this like yellow lighting. And so Justine walks towards where Melancholia is shining down, and Claire watches as she's like on the face of this like rock side and gets naked and just basks in its glow. And I just loved that scene so much. I thought that was so great. It's like, this is kind of like Justine's life in a way has already ended, like she's lost the great job. she lost the husband and, you know, the wedding, and she's depressed out of her mind. And, you know, for her, I feel like it is kind of like, you know, the worst things in your mind have already happened. Okay, yeah, hit us. Who cares? And it's just kind of like flourishing while Claire is floundering in this, like fearing about it happening. Whereas, you know, Justine is kind of like, okay, sure,
Yeah,
hit us.
it. Yeah.
Which is, I mean, if the world's going to end, that is like the better way to spend your last moments.
Yeah, I think so. I just thought of this other movie that we could have done. Okay, when this theme comes around again, it's not really a horror movie, but it is about the end of the world, and everybody knows that's coming on this one particular day. I think it might be called Last Night or something. It's also Canadian. It's really great. So,
yeah, I'd love to watch it. Let's see. Justine tells Claire later that all life on Earth is evil and deserves to die, and that nobody will miss it. And she also confidently claims that there is no other life in the universe. When Claire asks how she knows this, she just responds, I know things. Like how I knew that there were 678 beans in the bottle at the party when nobody else did. And that is when I really just did not like that scene. I don't know. I did not enjoy it because I don't know. Like, I just felt like that could have been done maybe a little bit differently, where it's like, okay, she knows that aliens don't exist. Like, what are we doing here?
Well, I think because she has absolutely no hope, you know. So I think Claire's like, there could be life, other places. And Justine's like, nope, there's not. This is it, and it's going to end. And yeah, I don't know. That line though, that's really interesting. I wonder, it doesn't really fit, I don't think, with Justine's character. All life on Earth is evil. But I have had that thought, not for decades, but I have had that thought, like, at least people are evil. Like, you know, deer and, you know, nature and owls and shit. Those are great, you know. But people, you know, create a lot of destruction and harm. And let's wipe them out.
I know Lars von Trier, I read up and I know he's dealt with depression, and I know, like you said, like that is like a common thought. Like you said, also, I feel like Justine loves people too, though. It's like that, and that to me is what I've always struggled with depression, is loving people kind of conceptually sometimes, when like you yourself, your body can't love somebody, but you in your mind, you're like, I know I love this person, like I know I do, but I feel nothing and I can give nothing to nobody right now. To me, that kind of strikes a bigger chord with me than the idea of like, well, we should just kill everybody on the earth. Yeah. Because then, you know, Claire makes the great point of like, where will Leo live then? Like there is a child here that we all love, Leo. And like in that way, you can really understand why Claire is she's more kind of anxious for him. Like she doesn't want him to die either. And, I'm not blaming Justine for not having anything to give, but she kind of like just is like, well, not for very much longer. Like he doesn't have this place for much longer. It's like, whoa, okay. I mean, Claire's kind of giving you her house. Can you like give her anything? Or, you know, if she had been like, yeah, I mean, maybe prepare for that. It might happen.
Well, yeah, that's what's so interesting because, you know, because Justine does lie to the kid, you know, and I think that's what we do with children, is we don't tell them all the horrible things that we know as adults. So I guess it's fine, but she's just not going to play that game with Claire. You know, she's just not, you know,
that's a good point.
She can suck it up, you know, Justine has to. And so, but I mean, I also think that's the way Claire's seeing it too. So.
Yeah, that she's just like giving her nothing. She's kind of got nobody to
Yeah.
really be there for her right now. Because also anytime she expresses any worries to John, he's just like, stop worrying about it. That's not helping. That's really not. So strange events begin to occur, like the electricity in the castle goes out. I love the scene where the butler doesn't come to work and Claire's just like, well, why do you think that is? He's never not called in. So, what could be the reason? And Justine's like, maybe this is a time. She's like, does he have a family? And Claire's like, I don't know. And she's like, well, maybe this is the time that some people want to be with their families. I like that scene. That to me felt like such a get a grip, girl. Like, why he's not here, because the world might end, dummy. The horses in the stable are super restless. St. Elmo's fire is seen at various times, and the weather changes erratically. Like, it starts snowing when it's sunny outside. So Melancholia does initially fly past Earth while everybody's watching, and this seemingly vindicates John and the scientists. And there is a pretty kind of sad moment where Claire is just so relieved and happy with John, and she's like, so it's not happening? Like, it's not gonna come? And he's like, no, it's not. And she's just so relieved. And I do relate to this in a way, because I do love that, as we know, though, Melancholia is going to hit the Earth, and it might have gone right past them, but it comes back. And I saw somebody online refer to this as just like, depression does come back too, even when things are great. It is kind of, if you have lifelong depression, is kind of something that is in the back of your mind of just like, whoa, okay, I'm feeling great right now. Oh, there will be a time I don't feel this great again. And it is kind of like the shadow in the distance of you're like, I know you're coming, but when?
I know. Yeah.
Yeah. So now the gravitational interaction between the planets is sending Melancholia across Earth's orbit for a second time, moving on a path towards it. So the next day we have John, looking through the telescope, looking worried. And earlier, Claire had gotten some pills that you could overdose on. And John made a comment of do I have to lock those? And she's like, don't you dare touch them. But she wakes up and he's nowhere to be found. And he finds him in the stable, and he's killed himself, overdosing on pills, which I get it, bro, but to leave your child, that just seems so heartless for Claire, it
is.
But
But yeah, so you're so attached to a belief system that when it's shattered, the only thing that you can think to do is to end your own life. I mean, I think when I've forgotten this film, I think I will remember that part. And on the image of him with the vomit all over his mouth and stuff. And in the stables with the horses, I've been thinking about this a lot. I'm like, was he walking somewhere and he just had to lie down in the stables, or did he go to the stables intentionally to die?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man.
So many questions.
But it's just so horrible. What an asshole.
Yeah, it's just so sad to leave her with the son, and make her go through all of this alone with him when this is going to be, the end of everything. You should be there with him to experience that. And in this moment, I wish you would have freed all the horses. I had thought about that. Yeah. I'm like, it's their last time on Earth too. You should free all of them, because she only frees one. But that's even only to make an excuse. I thought she had done that out of kindness, but no, she just does that to later say oh, well, John took a horse because the car's not working or something. So she hides his death from the family, covers him up with hay, and attempts to flee with Leo, but the cars will not start. So she takes a little, golf cart, but that doesn't work either. It begins hailing, and, she kind of dejectedly walks back to the castle where Justine is sitting, and she meets with Justine and asks her if she will spend the last moments on the terrace by candlelight with wine. And I do like this scene that Justine's just like, no, I think your idea is dog shit. And and just is like, absolutely not. I will not be doing that with you. I will not, just, yeah. But you also got to feel for Claire in this moment, because she's like, will you do that? Like, will you do this for me? Like, it will make me happy. And I guess it's kind of also a way of her asking, like, can you make it all better for me right now? And Justine's like, no, there's no way I can make it better right now. And she's right. You just kind of have to accept there's no sugarcoating this. We're all going to die in like 5 minutes. So, Claire's kind of losing it. So, and Leo is clearly kind of scared because also like the atmosphere or whatever's changing. So it's like kind of hard for people to breathe right now. And so Justine calms Leo down because, he's asking like, basically like, are we all going to die? Is it actually going to come? And she's like, no, like it's actually going to be okay. And why is because, we're going to go build a magic cave. Like, and he's like, does everybody have the ability to build that? She's like, no, but your aunt does. And I thought that was really sweet. And like, and you can tell I liked seeing this bit of vulnerability from her of like, she's hugging him and kind of crying a little bit, but knowing that like, she has to be strong for him. And so they just spend some time like sharpening branches together and making this like magic cave, which is just like a kind of a tree teepee, in the middle of like the golf course. And so then shortly before the collision, Justine, Claire, and Leo are sitting in the cave holding hands, which is a pretty sweet gesture. And Justine and Leo just determinedly keep their eyes shut, like just stay calm and relax. But Claire is just looking because we can see the planet like, coming closer and closer. And I just love like the scene pans out and like, she just still cannot help but keep looking and like breathing and like freaking out. But Justine and Leo are just kind of solid, just like, sitting together. And then Melancholia collides with Earth, engulfing everybody in a sea of flames, as everybody dies. Which is such a beautiful shot. Like I think they did a great job with all the shots of Melancholia, like getting closer and whatnot. Like it was so beautiful, but so scary also.
Yeah. And I really like just the sort of like, the three of them, because the boy has his eyes closed, but he doesn't have him squinched shut or anything. He's just like you said, he's just calmly closed his eyes. And Justine has her eyes open, but she's not looking at the collision. She's just sort of she's got her back to it and she's just accepting that it's going to happen. And Claire is just, like you said, can't help herself. She's just got to watch it. And she's like holding her head and, fighting against it until the very end.
Yeah. Yeah. That is one of the best scenes.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful film. Gorgeous cinematography. And that last shot is amazing.
One thing I was annoyed by was there's this one music sting that they played like 5 or 6 times. And I always recognized it because the very beginning sounded like a song from this game, Final Fantasy IX. But it was just one of those like, ding, ding, ding. Like, I don't know. It's kind of just like a sad, melancholic. But it was the same one so many times that I was like, again? Oh, and again? And again? So that was a little bit. It was like just too noticeable to me. If I'm noticing and counting it, I think you've done it too many times.
Yeah.
Well, here's some trivia. The image of Justine floating down the stream with her bouquet was inspired by John Everett Millais' 1852 painting Ophelia. I'm glad I clocked that because I thought this looks just like Ophelia.
Yes.
Kirsten Dunst was offered the lead role after a Skype session with writer and director Lars von Trier on Paul Thomas Anderson's recommendation. I'm sure that seems maybe like a crazy story at the time. Now I'm sure so many people get accepted over Zoom.
Oh, yeah.
During the Cannes Film Festival press conference for this movie, writer and director Lars von Trier responded to a question about the use of Wagner's music by calling himself a Nazi, and saying that he sympathized with Hitler. Despite apologizing for his remarks, he was banned for the remainder of the festival and declared a persona non grata by festival organizers, a first in the history of the festival. In a 2020 interview with French publication Liberation, director Olivier Assayas, a member of the Cannes jury that year, revealed von Trier's comments were ultimately what cost the film from winning the Palme d'Or, leading to the jury opting to reward the film by awarding Kirsten Dunst the Best Actress award and awarding the grand prize to another existential drama involving the cosmos, Terrence Malick's The Tree of Life from 2011. Coincidentally, Uma Thurman, who was also a member of the jury that year, would go on to play prominent roles in von Trier's next two films, Nymphomaniac Volume 1 from 2013 and Nymphomaniac Volume 2 from 2013 and The House That Jack Built from 2018. I'm realizing I've seen every single one of these movies that this guy has ever made.
Oh, wow.
This is the only one I ever liked. Prepare yourself if you do. The cast includes five performers who played vampires or appeared in at least one vampire movie or television series. Udo Kier appeared in Blood for Dracula from 1974 and Blade from 1998. Alexander Skarsgård was in True Blood from 2008. Kirsten Dunst was in Interview with the Vampire in 1994, and Sir John Hurt was in Only Lovers Left Alive 2013. And of course, Kiefer Sutherland was in The Lost Boys from 1987.
Aww.
We love him. He did great.
Yeah, he did great.
Well, briefly, what does Letterboxd have to say about it? Anant D. Goel gave it 5 stars. Just know, if you invite me to a party, these are the vibes I bring too. Parasora Doofus gave it 5 stars. I feel like I need to watch this movie again in order to fully understand it, but I truly cannot emphasize how much I do not want to watch this movie again. That's fair.
I kind of feel like that too.
Esel Zach gave it 5 stars. You will never have to rewatch this movie because it will haunt you vividly forever. Great movie, absolutely stunning imagery, but I could never recommend anyone to watch it. I don't know if I agree. I feel like I would definitely give an addendum, like, it's long, but I think it's beautiful.
Yeah, I think it's beautiful. I think it's worth watching. And I know some people love it and have seen it several times. I just feel like I'm probably good. I think I got it.
Yeah, I have no desire to watch it a second time, but I would rate it now number 1 of all the Von Trier films I've seen. By far. OMG, It's Nin gave it a 0.5 star. Sometimes I think I understand film, and then something like this comes along, and I see all the high reviews, and I'm left completely perplexed. I haven't hated a movie this much in decades. This is pointless, insufferable drivel. What a waste of my time. Okay, Nin. OMG.
Wow.
What a waste of my time.
My time.
Goodness me. Okay.
It's just a cinematic masterpiece. It's a waste of my time.
But it's a waste of my time. Colin Jeffress 21 gave it a 0.5 star. Just bad. Second half was good. The whole movie could have done without the first part. See my boyfriend's review for more detailed thoughts on this. I don't know him.
No mention of who that is. Perfect
That's the
letterbox review.
same. That is to me the same like energy of like, what a waste of my time. It's just like, who are you? AU gave it a half star. Such a waste of great cinematography. All the characters are pissing me off, except the horses. Just accept that you're gonna die, bruh. Okay, I mean, it's pretty understandable to like be freaked out to me.
Yeah, I think so too.
If you're like,
I mean,
oh,
one thing-
I just know I will die in a fiery blaze, like that would be scary.
Not just that, but everybody and everything is going to die in a fiery blaze. I mean, I think I
Yeah.
could come to terms, like if I, God forbid, were diagnosed with a fatal illness, I think I could come to terms with that. But if everybody was going to die, I mean, that's where I think it gets really
Existential.
tragic. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is like Lovecraftian almost. Like something that giant coming for you is like Lovecraftian. So, God forbid some people lose their brains over that.
Yeah, I don't think it's that easy, AU.
Yeah. Well, how would we rate it? How about in planets?
4.5.
I'll give it 4 planets.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. I think, again, like I think for somebody like me who went in feeling like I already hated it when I stepped foot into the movie, and then to come out thinking like, okay, that was pretty good. I still feel like some things, you know what? 4.25.
All right. Wow.
Yeah, 4.25.
I'm impressed. Yeah. I really like your capacity for changing your mind. Like that's a skill and that's a gift that not everybody has. So
Aw,
I
well, you
admire
help
that in you.
because
Oh,
it's like when we talk about it, I'm like, those are great points, So I think you're good at making your case too.
oh, thanks.
Well, what have we learned?
Well, I was thinking about social games and how I really wish I had the courage not to play them. I feel like especially at work or, just certain situations like your thing last night, at the restaurant, how it would be so, so fulfilling, and rewarding to just be like, can you shut the fuck up? But we don't do that.
Yeah.
Because that would be really not playing the game. But I mean, even at work, when I have to like smile, at people that I do not like, and who are actively making my life more difficult, things like that. When I just want to just not smile or just be stone faced or say something rude, but I don't do it. So, but I think I would like to. I don't know what it's going to take, but maybe this year.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's so tough because I really would like to just become more myself because I've realized just how much not myself I am around so many people. And so I feel like that's maybe not fair to the world also of like, kind of lying in a way by being like, I like this, I'm okay with this, when really I'm feeling like I hate you, I don't want to talk to you. Like that's lying. And I'd like to be more truthful, but it is tough because I mean when you see a character like their mom, Justine and Claire's mom, everybody there hates her. So you're like, oh well, that would be me, I guess, hated by everyone. But then you're like, well, who hates? Like, do I care what they think? Anyways, so yeah,
it's tough.
I think life will end for everyone at some point. So you should to the best of your ability, if you can, chase what makes you happy and fulfills you.
Oh, I love that. I've been thinking about that a lot too, because I haven't made any art lately. And I just feel like that's where I feel like I'm really myself the most, is when I'm in my art studio making art. And I haven't been doing that. And I feel like, my soul is starving right now. And that whole thing about when you're on your deathbed, no one's going to say, I wish I worked more. It's like you're going to regret the things that you didn't do that really gave you life. So
yeah.
Take advantage of that.
Yeah. Would we watch it again?
Maybe.
One day. In the future. Yes. Not anytime soon. Do you have a favorite scene and or kill?
I just can't stop seeing Kiefer's dead fucking face. That just really got me. I mean, I knew he had done it, but just how like sloppy and ugly he looked, lying amongst the horse shit, in the stall. Like just I don't know. I can't get it out of my head. So I guess that's what I'd choose.
It was poignant.
Grim.
Very grim. I guess the last scene I really liked, honestly, I thought that Charlotte Gainsbourg's acting of like just her like frantically looking at it was so scary. And so I liked that scene a lot.
Yeah.
Of like an unavoidable thing coming at you and this person just can't, till the very end, cannot take it. Is sad. Yeah. Who wins the You Fool Award? Let's say Kiefer Sutherland.
Yes, Kiefer Sutherland's character, John.
Yeah. Oh, John.
Well, thank you, Mac, for having this conversation with me about Pontypool and Melancholia.
It was great.
And thank you, WoHos, for joining us and for all your support. It means the world of horror to us truly. We appreciate you downloading the show and telling all your friends all about us. Next time, what will we be looking at, Mac? Would you rather we look at movies about home invasion, movies about trying to defy fate, or Adolescence, a horror movies?
How about Adolescence, a horror?
Okay, so that means we'll be looking at Tiger Stripes from Malaysia and Hatching from Finland. Remember, WoHos, we love you, and don't go into the basement.